Welcome back to the XCS eiConsole XSLT Data Transformation tutorial series. In this 10-minute tutorial, we'll further explore how conditional logic can be implemented in XSLT. This tutorial builds on concepts discussed in the introductory episode. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to use the XSL if tag to test for a Boolean condition, use the XSL choose, XSL when, and XSL otherwise structures to conditionally check for more than one condition, use the same three structures to emulate if-then-else logic, and conditionally add static text to the output document. We'll begin with the mapping that we created in the introduction tutorial. On the left-hand side, we have fish.xml loaded from the fish.xml schema. On our target, we have our simple fish list XML, which we'd like to update to include a new element. To do this, use the Open Target Format icon and choose the XML format builder. Remove any XML files that are in the list, and then click Add. We'll choose Simple Fish List 2. Click Open, and then Read Format. You'll note that this version of the simple fish list is the same as before, but we've added a comment. What we'll do in this exercise is populate that comment conditionally based on whether or not a fish has a family or order in common with the pilotfish. The first thing we need to do is learn a little bit more about the pilotfish. So let's run a test transformation that will just output the pilotfish fish information. To do this, click on the test condition of the existing if. Double-click on that node, select all of the existing text, and click Delete. We'll replace this with the new condition common name equals pilotfish in single quotes. Then hit Enter. Click on the Testing tab, and if it's not loaded already, load the fish.xml source file, and then execute. Here we can see information about the pilotfish, its family, scientific name, and order. Let's return to the Mapping tab, and now let's add a condition. This condition will output only those fish that are in the same family as the pilotfish. The first thing we need to do here is to remove our condition. To do this, we'll first move the list item out from underneath the if node. Click the list item node and drag it until a gray bar appears between the if node and the select node of the for each. Once you've done this successfully, the list item should appear as a peer of the if node. Now, select the if node, right-click, and choose Delete. Now, once again, our transformation will give us a list including every fish. Next, we want to add the comment node to our mapping. Navigate to the comment node in the target tree and drop it on its parent, the list item. You'll note that a new comment node will appear between the name and classification. Next, we need to add our condition. Under the XSLT Structures tab, choose the Flow Control subtab and drag the if node on top of the comment. Once the blue if node appears, double-click on the test attribute and enter in our desired condition, which in this case is family equals this value right here. Once we're done, hit Enter. Now, every time the family is set to that value, we'll want to output that this fish is in the same order as the pilotfish. To do this, we'll want to add a text node underneath our condition. Select the Output subtab of the XSLT Structures tab and choose the Text tool. Drop it on the if node, and a blue text node should appear. When we double-click this, we can enter in the text that we'd like to see. Once complete, we can click on the Testing tab and run our transformation. You'll see many of the comments are empty. But some will have the comment populated, "This fish is in the same family as the pilotfish." Let's say we'd also like to add some text if the fish is in the same order as the pilotfish. To do this, we can copy our existing if condition. Select the if node and choose Copy Mapping Component from the context menu. Then, click on the comment node under which we'd like to see the new if, right-click, and choose Paste Mapping Component. You'll see a copy of the XSLT structure will appear. Next, we'll double-click on the condition and add something similar, this time checking for the order. Click Enter, we'll test. And you can see some comments where we have fish in the same order as the pilotfish, and some where it's both in the same family and in the same order. Note, however, this is redundant because we know that if a fish is in the same family, it's going to be in the same order. So to remedy this, let's only output the more specific message. So we'll want to do this by using the equivalent of a switch or a case statement. The XSLT equivalent of these are the choose, when, and otherwise elements. Select the Choose tab and drag it on top of the comment. Choose the container for each of our different cases. We have two cases here, so we'll drag two when conditions onto the choose. We'll want the same tests as we had in the if, so we can copy and paste. We'll also want the same text, so we can drag the existing text nodes out from underneath the if and on top of the corresponding whens. Finally, we can delete the ifs. Rerunning our transformation again, we can now see that we don't get any duplicate messages. Something can be in the same order or the same family as the pilotfish. However, if it's in the same family, we don't duplicate the message about the order. Lastly, let's look at how we would emulate an else condition. The XSLT equivalent of an else is the otherwise tag. Take the otherwise tool and drag it onto the choose. Next, navigate to the output subtag and drag a text tool on top of the otherwise. Double-click that node and add some text that we would like to use in all other conditions. Returning to the testing mode again, we can see now that every list item has a populated comment. This concludes our XSLT tutorial on the use of XSLT conditional structures such as XSLIF, XSLChoose, XSLWhen, and XSLOtherwise.